Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to look at how the cy.screenshot command can be used in Cypress and what capabilities it provides out of the box. We'll start with the official Cypress documentation. The cy.screenshot command allows you to take screenshots of the entire page, as well as individual elements, and it also lets you configure screenshot behavior using options. Next, I move on to practical examples and show how to take screenshots directly inside tests, how to capture specific UI elements, and how to tie a screenshot to the moment when a backend response is received using CI intercept. We also look at how Cypress automatically takes screenshots when tests fail during Cypress run, and how this behavior can be enabled or disabled through configuration. Example 1. Manual screenshot inside a test. The first thing I show is the most basic and easiest approach. I add cy.screenshot directly inside the login test at the moment when the user has already successfully authenticated and the application is in a stable state. It's important to explain a few key points here. The screenshot is created exactly at the line where the command is called "we fully control." When the screenshot is taken, we can give the screenshot a clear, meaningful name. This approach is a great starting point because it immediately demonstrates that Cypress allows you to intentionally capture the UI state at a specific moment in the test flow. In real projects, this is commonly used to document important steps, such as successful login or form submission, make debugging easier by preserving visual context, quickly understand what the user actually sees at that point in the test. This example shows how simple it is to add visual checkpoints to your Cypress tests using cy.screenshot. Example 2. Screenshot of a specific element. Next, I build on the previous example and show that Cypress can take screenshots not only of the entire page, but also of individual elements. In this case, I take a screenshot of the logo in the navigation bar. Here I explain several important points. This approach is especially useful for UI-focused checks. You don't always need a full-page screenshot to understand an issue element. Screenshots are smaller, cleaner, and easier to analyze. Capturing a specific element helps reduce visual noise and allows you to focus only on the part of the interface that actually matters. This technique is commonly used for verifying that key UI components are rendered correctly, documenting design changes, debugging layout or styling issues without distractions from the rest of the page. The key takeaway from this example is that Cypress is very well suited for precise, targeted UI validation by allowing screenshots at the component level. Example 3. Screenshots on test failure via configuration. After showing the manual approaches, I move on to automation and open the Cypress configuration file. Here I explain that Cypress is able to automatically take screenshots when a test fails, without any explicit screenshot commands inside the test code. This behavior is controlled by the Screenshot on Run Failure configuration option. I demonstrate that when this option is enabled, Cypress will automatically save a screenshot whenever a test fails during a Cypress run execution. The screenshot captures the exact state of the application at the moment of failure, which is especially valuable when tests are running in CI, or headless mode. It's important to emphasize that in this case, no additional code is required inside the tests themselves. The entire behavior is handled by Cypress at the configuration level. This makes the feature extremely useful for CI pipelines overnight, or unattended test runs. Quick root cause analysis when a test fails. The key idea here is that Cypress provides automatic visual feedback on failures out of the box, simply through configuration. In this case, I take a screenshot after Cypress has received a response from the backend using CI intercept and cy wait. Here's what I want to highlight. UI and backend often work asynchronously. The interface may not reflect the final state immediately. It's important to understand the UI state after the server response. Capturing screenshots at the right moment helps ensure you're testing the intended behavior. This approach is especially useful for debugging flaky tests. If a test fails intermittently, aligning actions with actual server responses can reveal timing issues. Key idea: instead of taking screenshots based on arbitrary timing, like fixed cy wait delays, you can tie them to specific events, such as the completion of an API request. This makes your tests more reliable and your screenshots more meaningful. Next, I introduce a global after each hook. With this hook, a screenshot is automatically taken after every test, no matter if the test passed or failed. This approach is extremely convenient for local debugging and learning purposes, because it provides a visual record of the UI after each test. You can immediately see how the interface behaved, which makes it easier to understand why a test passed or failed. It's important to note that this technique is not recommended for large CI/CD pipelines, since it can generate a huge number of screenshots and slow down the process. However, for analysis, demonstrations, or educational scenarios, it works perfectly. The key idea is that this is a global function. Once it's set up, it applies automatically to all tests in your project. You don't need to touch individual test files. Every test gets the screenshot taken after it finishes, consistently capturing the final state of the UI. This simple approach gives you reliable visual feedback, making it easier to debug flaky tests, review UI changes, or teach Cypress concepts. If you decide to take screenshots only for a single test, instead of using a global hook, you can attach the screenshot logic directly inside that test. This approach is useful when you want to focus on a specific scenario without cluttering all your tests with extra screenshots. For example, if you're debugging a tricky test or want to demonstrate a particular feature, you can take a screenshot right after the relevant actions or after the API response, just for that test. The key differences compared to a global hook are: the screenshot is scoped only to that test, so it doesn't affect other tests in your suite. You have full control over the timing, which lets you capture exactly the UI state you care about. Final part: behavior of screenshot on run failure. At the end of the video, I make a special pause to highlight a very important point that's often misunderstood. I demonstrate 3 situations when running tests with npx Cypress run. 1. When screenshot on run failure, true. If a test fails, Cypress automatically takes a screenshot. This behavior is expected and explicit. You've turned it on, so Cypress does exactly what you asked. 2. When screenshot on run failure, false. If a test fails, no screenshot is taken. Cypress completely disables this mechanism, so failures don't generate any visual record. 3. When the setting is not defined at all in the config. Even if you haven't configured anything, Cypress will still take a screenshot when a test fails. This is the default out-of-the-box behavior. It ensures that you always have visual feedback on failing tests unless you explicitly turn it off. The key takeaway here is, even with no configuration at all, Cypress automatically saves a screenshot for failed tests. But if you explicitly set screenshot on run failure, false, that automatic screenshot is suppressed. Final thought of the video. It's useful to understand that screenshots in Cypress are not a single feature, but a whole set of flexible capabilities. You can control where screenshots are saved, when they are taken, under which conditions, for example, only on failure or after specific actions. And the best part is that all of these options can be combined in the same project, giving you full flexibility to manage screenshots exactly the way you need for debugging, learning, or reporting.